Welcome to the lesson, Oxygen. In an emergency, oxygen can be provided by three separate systems: flight crew oxygen system, passenger oxygen system, and portable oxygen system. Flight crew system is comprised of a stored high-pressure gaseous supply charged to a maximum of 1,800 psi at standard temperature according to this table. Minimum oxygen pressure for dispatch with 2 or 3 flight crew members is according to this table. The oxygen cylinder and charging connection are located in the front cargo compartment immediately forward of the compartment door. The integrity of the system is indicated by a white translucent disc located in the fuselage skin adjacent to the oxygen cylinder. The disc will be ejected if pressure reaches 2,800 psi and oxygen will be discharged overboard via a vent. To bring attention to this, red streamers are released when oxygen is discharged. The supply from the cylinder is routed to a manually operated isolation valve which regulates the main supply pressure to 70 psi. Supply pressure is shown on an indicator labeled Main Supply adjacent to the isolation valve. The supply passes to a mask stowage unit in each side console. A third mask stowage unit is installed for an observer. Each mask stowage unit is comprised of a quick donning mask with integral demand regulator, a rocker switch to control either 100% oxygen or a mixture of oxygen and air, an emergency pressure control knob to provide oxygen at a positive pressure, a press to test and reset switch, a flow indicator, an oxygen on flag, and a microphone. When the mask is in use due to loss of cabin pressure, the rocker switch is selected to N. The demand regulator on each mask will provide a mixture of oxygen and air as it is demanded by the user. If the mask is in use due to smoke in the cockpit or in the cabin, the rocker switch must be checked in the 100% position to ensure that smoke is not inhaled. If the demand regulator fails, the emergency pressure control knob may be rotated to the emergency position to provide a permanent positive pressure to the mask. This control may also be pressed before flight to check the oxygen flow. The press to test and reset switch is used to provide oxygen pressure to the mask for testing purposes. The flow indicator shows yellow when oxygen is flowing to the mask and black when there is no flow. The oxygen on flag indicates that the shutoff valve is open when the door is moved from the open to the closed position. The integral microphone is selected by placing the boom mask switch on the associated audio selector panel to the mask position. Independent dropout units are located throughout the passenger cabin, the cabin attendant stations, and the toilets. Each unit is comprised of either 2, 3, or 4 oxygen masks and a chemical oxygen generator. The door latches for the stowage units are released electrically. When cabin pressure reaches 13,250 feet, release will be signaled automatically. A manual override is provided from the flight deck by pressing either the dropout override switches on the left or right side consoles. Passenger oxygen out illuminates when oxygen masks have been released either automatically or manually. The door latches may also be released mechanically by the use of special keys, which are stored at each cabin attendant's seat stowage. When the doors open, the masks within each unit drops out. The action of pulling each mask starts the chemical reaction within each unit to produce oxygen. The supply will last for a fixed time depending on the size of the generator fitted, 13 minutes, 15 minutes, or 22 minutes. A green indicator on each mask tube indicates the flow of oxygen to its respective mask. The door of each stowage unit is equipped with a door stop test lever for maintenance purpose. When this lever is set to the vertical position, it allows the latch to operate and release the door, but prevents the door from opening fully and ejecting the oxygen masks. The lever must be reset to its normal position, flush with the door after maintenance. Portable oxygen sets are provided to enable the cabin staff to move about the aircraft in the event of depressurization. These sets can also be used for therapeutic and first aid purposes. A yellow bag containing 2 masks is attached to each oxygen bottle. A shutoff valve labeled on-off controls the oxygen supply to the outlets. The yellow outlet supplies 2 liters per minute and the red one 4 liters per minute of oxygen flow. A contents gauge gives an indication of remaining oxygen pressure. Check that the oxygen overboard vent discharge disc is intact. The system main valve is opened and the system contents are checked on the main supply pressure indicator. On the audio selector panel, the boom mask switch is set to mask. Then check the RT intercom switch is set to intercom. On the mask unit, the press to test and reset switch is pressed and the flow indicator shows yellow momentarily. Simultaneously, as the emergency pressure control knob is pressed, check the flow indicator shows yellow and the flow of oxygen is heard in the overhead speaker. Then press to test and reset switch is released. Check that the normal 100% switch is at 100%. Finally, the boom mask switch is returned to boom. After the last flight of each day, the main valve is turned fully off. If there is smoke or fire on the flight deck or in the cabin, oxygen masks must be donned as soon as possible. Select the boom mask switch on the audio selector panel to mask. Remove the headset and grip the oxygen mask by the red plates and remove from the stowage box. Ensure that the normal 100% switch is at 100%. Gripping the red plates inflates the harness, which is then placed over the head. The control plates are then released, the oxygen shuts off, and the harness deflates to grip the head. The action of setting the boom mask switch to mask also permanently selects the overhead speaker on, but the headset may be replaced if desired. Communication should be established with the other crew member by normal use of the intercom switch on the control hand wheel. If there is loss of pressure in the cabin, the mask should be donned as normal, but the normal 100% switch may be placed to normal in order to breathe an oxygen-air mix and so extend the duration of the oxygen supply. After monitoring the cabin altitude and rate of climb, if the passenger oxygen out annunciators are not lit by 13,500 feet, the left or right dropout override buttons are pressed. After PAX Oxy out annunciators lit, establish flight at 18,000 feet or below within 5 minutes. Commence descent below 18,000 feet within 12.5 minutes. Establish flight at 15,000 feet or below within 13 minutes. Establish flight at 14,000 feet or below within 20.5 minutes.